Welcome. Building a bunk bed. Whether I move this into the framing. This is going to be where our 2x6 enters, and it's going to go out the other side. So this has to be completely through. What I've done here is I've measured the 2x6. It's going to enter here. I'm going to cut a slate relief right here. But then it's going to send a through mortise through, and I have to decide how wide that through mortise is going to be, because that's the portion of the wood that's going to go all the way through. This is 5.5 inches, so I want to take an equal amount from both sides of that 2x6. Which is kind of tricky, to be honest. So it's 2.75. That's the center point. From the center point, I want the mortise to be like probably 3 inches wide. So we'll do 1.5 inches on either side of that. So this is the part. It's going to be all the way out. This will be where the 2x6 hits, and then I'll cut a slight relief so that it can kind of sit in place when it's in there. I'm gonna make this depth, maybe 1/4 of an inch deep. But for now, I just want to make sure I got those in the right spot. I want the whole beam to go in here, just for about an inch or so. And then this entire little tenon is going to go through the entire beam and come out the other side. Yep. Hey Juanita, what's up? I did. Let me see the mallet. Juanita, friend of the show. Yeah, this is the mallet right here. I used it the other day and snapped some of the cherry off, so I had to reseal that cherry on there. I'm gonna use this in just a minute once I get these first cuts done here. I like it too. Thank you. Thank you, Juanita. I am, Juanita. I'm making a bunk bed. I'm so glad you're back too. I missed you the last couple days. I'm gonna make one more cut here because this is the edge of the Tenon. It's a little uneven. Whatever you do, don't want to go past that stop line. Only reason I don't want to saw that middle out because I'm afraid I'll lose track of where my mark is to chisel all the way through. It's great. I'm glad to see you back. Yeah, Christmas is, as stressful as it is fun. There's lots to do. We've had some things happen around here, of course. Yeah, everything's okay. We had some emergencies happen around here. Um, the sliding glass door basically decided to quit on us, and uh, we had some issues with plumbing too. So, and it all happened at the same time. You know how that is. So I had to put a new door on. I couldn't spend as much time like preparing for live and doing candles and stuff because we had some emergencies around here. Yes, that's exactly right. When it rains, it pours. I think I've said that in the last couple of days, that exact expression. And it all happened at the same time. Look at that. Well, at least I got good stop cuts in there. That's kind of what I was going to do anyway. Only reason I need to, I probably should drill holes in this center portion here, just so that I know where it is, and make some stop cuts around the edge of it. I want to use a frame too for that. See what we got. Yeah, cherry wood on the outside, and this ash. Everything else is ash. I just like the way it looked. You know that. Gotta have a little style to it. Feels this is slight bit loose in my hand, like the head on the mallet. I think Christmas is maybe everybody loves it and I love it too. It's just this time of year is so stressful, especially if anything comes that requires a lot of money and you need money put aside for everybody. It just can be overwhelming. I will tell you that top cut here does not look super straight, so that's gonna be a thing. Steal one of my clamps here. I think the next thing to do is lay out the space of this. We'll go ahead and lay the other face out so that these drill holes will be in the right location. Yeah, it is. So we're cutting in a mortise here for a tenon to go into. We got to make sure that these holes are in the same location on the board on the other side. So I got to basically do my same layout over here, which was a little bit tricky. Three-quarters of an inch. Line's not good. This is going to be 2.75 inches from each side. 3/4 of an inch from each side. Tricky stuff. All right. So when you do these, you kind of want to have housing so that the beam has something to kind of sit into. So that's what this outside bit is. It's not just to be fancy. But we're not putting the housing on the back side of it. So all I need to do here is get those holes all the way through. Make sure I'm going at a 90-degree angle with this screw gun. Probably use a bigger bit. Sometimes it's like too much torque for the screw gun. This is really meant for a plug-in screw gun. Let me move the microphone. I think my drill is out of power. Heather, if you have the power drill, Heather, if you happen to have the other power drill, bring that to me. It doesn't really reduce my viewership, to be honest. I wanted to get something drilled all the way through there. Chisel. I think Heather's maybe a little bit overwhelmed right now. Problem here is you don't want to mess this wall up by chiseling through it, so you gotta make sure you got a good stop cut. You also don't want to bend the wall and make it look sloppy. It's tricky. I think my chisel around that. Thanks, Juanita. Appreciate that. It probably will take quite some time to do all these different boards and all these different joints, but if there's anything I can do, it's show people like what's his name, Haint said, show people that the process takes time, and precision and patience, because definitely that's a factor. So we got the back side of this mortise right here, and we have the front side of the mortise right here. I'm trying not to get blowout, so hopefully this stop cut on the back will stop me from getting blowout on the front, and the front stop cut will stop me from getting blowout on the back. It's going to come together over time to where people will probably become more interested in it as it starts to be assembled, but right now it's just a board, so that's the process. This is tricky because it's going to be hard to tell where that. I know I got to chisel all the way so I can feel I'm all the way through it there. Seeing through it definitely helps. Sure. Uh-oh, that was a bad strike right there. Yep, that's right. I I do a trick where I drill out the some of the waste so that it's easy. Because when you chisel plumb through a piece all the way through, it is very sloppy using a chisel to do that. So yeah, I usually use some sort of a power tool to drill Traditionalist way would be use a hand drill, you know, like an unpowered drill. Yep, that's pretty much it. You get your, my clamp is like right in the way here. See if I can find a better spot for that. Oh wow. Yeah, kind of uh kind of a raw deal for my little chisel stand. Put it in the wrong one. Oh well. That's the only time I've ever dropped that chisel too. Except for on my foot one time. that kind of day. Well, it's Douglas fir and what do you call it? Like Norway spruce. So it's softwood, but it's not pine. It's spruce and Douglas fir. So it smells like Christmas trees in here. Yeah, it's the nerding out on some wood with you. I went to a specific lumber yard that had different softwoods available to get these. No, Juanita, it's not pine, it's spruce and fir. Get it right. Some people just saying same difference. Same difference, dude. About to start singing that song, I Want to Break Free, but I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that to you. Who sang that song? Is that a Queen song? I want to break free. I want to break. Oh, I'm definitely going all the way to the other side. Yep. I won't do Freddie Mercury dirty like that. Though Freddie Mercury, I don't know. Who knows? Maybe he's alive on the islands of Cuba or something. Someone once said that about Tupac. Oh, no, Juanita. Don't ask me to do it, because then if I do it, you're going to regret it. And then Heather says I can sing, so that built me up. Yeah, I used to be a music teacher, but I'm not anymore. Now I chop wood on a YouTube live. I'll sing it when I break free. When I get through the middle of this, I'll sing one phrase of it. If I get to 500 subscribers, I'll sing it. Oh yeah, that's not a new conspiracy theory. That's been around. Elvis has been rumored to be alive since he died, and he did die. While you're chiseling a mortise, you have to make sure that the sidewall is staying straight. It's like digging a hole in the ground. It's real easy to Yeah, Tupac. That's right. That's what someone said about Tupac once. That they said he ain't dead. This is somebody in my PE class. He ain't dead. He chilling on the islands of Cuba. And I was like, man, I think Cuba's like one major. Not to correct your factual accuracy, but I believe Cuba. I mean, there may be more than one island. Yeah, like Space Elvis, Space Tupac, Space Biggie, and Space Freddie Mercury. There is one downside to drilling the holes, and that is if you're trying to lay your chisel against the flat bottom of what you've chiseled out, it won't do that. So you have to use the mallet more to do it. But it's way better than chiseling the entire hole without any guides, without any help. All that waste, wear your tools all the way down. And apparently I'm going to drop my chisels on my floor, so I'm going to have to sharpen them anyway. I'm only leaving these two things right here as guidance because I don't know where the center hole should be. I don't have pencil marks left. So it's important that I leave something to tell me where that rectangle should be, where the mortise is going through, or the tenon, I should say. The mortise is the hole. The tenon is what goes through. If I was going to guess at how much longer that would take me to chisel, I would guess a long time. But sometimes I get through stuff faster than I expect. You don't want to rush this though, because then you end up with blowout. All these chips though, they're in my way. I'm going to take a quick water break and I'm going to keep chiseling. Oh, well, sometimes I use the bevel up or down. Hey, you know this stuff. You're asking me a question you know the answer to, but I will answer, of course. You are supposed to chisel with no mallet. Chisels are generally designed to be, I always am going to know the right answer. It doesn't mean I follow it. Chisels are supposed to be so sharp that you can push them through your workpiece without a mallet. But in the case that you're doing a mortise and tenon like this, you're going to have to use some force. And I'm using my mortise chisel here. It's going to I've got it pretty sharp. So you can push through some of your workpiece. And also you'll notice I turn my bevel down inside if I'm trying to work against this edge, right? Because it puts less stress on the edge. Just something that somebody else taught me. But in general, you got two hands on the chisel. You're supposed to really work chisels without a mallet, but we know you need some force sometimes. So when I sharpen them, all the time, right? So you know I'm an avid sharpener of my chisels. Once they're sharp, I generally like the bevel. This is a mortise chisel, so there's no bevel on it. Well, not if you're talking about the beveled edge, like this chisel has a bevel on the side. Generally, it's going to be a thumb on the chisel and approach like this, right? That's the textbook way to do it. But sometimes you'll see me turn the chisel around like this because my back side is sharp too. There's a micro edge on there. Like I think they call it a micro bevel. And I can actually pull waste away by pulling backwards against the bottom side of my chisel too. And if I could show you by zooming in. The only wrong thing you could do is not secure your workpiece. That's the wrong thing you can do, right? So with the back end of my chisel, see if you can see it. I'm waiting till my delay clears up. Got the back end of my chisel. I don't know if you can see that little, almost like a plane. If I can find a flat edge. I think it's still hard for you to see. Trying to get just the angle just as so you can see inside that mortise. So I'm using, this is the back side of the chisel. And that is taking waste out. It's kind of hard to see. You can see it's shredded just like planing, right? So good question, Hank. Hope I don't break my camera doing this here. Hank's always got good comments and questions. Friend of the show, Hank. Definitely sharp. Definitely two hands on your chisel at all times, unless you have a hand on the mallet, in which case you have your thumb like this, right? I'm already getting to a point where I think this chisel needs to be sharpened. I think, Hank, you missed the other day where I was here and I did only chisel sharpening, or Juanita wanted to do chisel sharpening, so we did that the other day. This corner is kind of getting neglected right here, this one. So I'm going to push my chisel down in that, right? And knock some of those shreds out that are in that corner. Make sure I got a 90-degree angle in that edge. Now turn my bevel around. I'm using the back side of the chisel to kind of pulverize that area. And I'm going to press down again like this. You can hear it pop wood shavings off. Yeah, well, I talked about using, you don't use a stone to sharpen chisels. You use sandpaper, very, very fine sandpaper. We talked about that, how you want to have a stropping, a cloth or a piece of leather, something to strop off the pieces of metal. And then you want to go from like an 800 grit, you know, anywhere between like 600 and 800 grit to a 1500 to a 2000. And the 2000 is your fine edge. And at that point, you should be able to shave off the hair on your arms with your chisel. And then that demonstrates if it cuts off your hair and it pops off in the air, that's how you know your chisel is sharp. At least that's the way I was taught. Someone else used to teach me how to check whether your blade was sharp with a piece of paper. So it's done in different ways. So this is going to be a 3-inch long tenon. It's going to be a 4x6 board, which is really 3.5 by 5.5. There's going to be a recess for the board to sit into, and then it's going to have a 3-inch tenon in the center of the long part of the board, and that 3-inch tenon will go through, and there will be a pin on the other side of the through mortise that will adjust the tightness. We call that a through mortise. That is where a piece goes through, a member of a structure goes through, and it's held in place by a pin. I'm going to get my mortise chisel, and this one takes out bigger chunks. Even the sharp side of this, the back side of this is really sharp too. You can hear it. That's what that just pulled off. That simple, right? Yeah. Yeah, I put it on a block like this. Here's my 800 grit. And here's my 1000 grit. You want to have as long a surface as you can too. Get them in the camera there. Yeah, so I got one block that's 800, that's the reddish block, and one block that's 2000. I just go from 800 to 2000. If I had 1500, I would use it, but right now I'm a little short of money. You know, can't do that because that stuff is really expensive. Like at Lowe's, that fine drywall sandpaper, like each sheet is several dollars. There is a technique where you can avoid like messing up the corners of your mortise by putting another board inside of it like this to lean against when you're doing like using the back side of the chisel. Like I have another board to lean against just to show a way to be cleaner about it. I'm getting through. Somebody throw another like on there so I can get 10 likes. If you've been watching for a while, that's how YouTube knows that I'm doing well. You know, I'm working hard. Somebody throw me one more like. Yeah, if you want to avoid hitting the edges with your chisel, you can put another, and you've got something to secure it in there. Use another workpiece or a block to avoid rounding off the edges. Thank you to that person that threw that 10th like on there. Make sure that if you enjoy this kind of content or you learn something, that you subscribe, because we're doing this stuff every Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday here at Dad's Workshop. Getting close to that other side, so I want to get a blowout. Angle round things. I'm curious what you're talking about. Oh yeah. It's a like a guide for your chisel. I think that's what you're talking about. Yeah, we're down to like there's maybe in some spots it's all the way through, but like there. It's not a whole lot of material there. Let me get a little water break real quick, and then I'll get right back to it. Dad's Workshop. Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah. So like you use a 45-degree angle. That's good, because I always kind of eyeball it, and I always thought about making a jig. Basically, it's a jig is what it is. One second. All right, water break done. What we have is a 62-inch 3x3 here, and we're chiseling in a mortise right now. We're almost all the way through. My glasses broke. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I probably could use one of those jigs as a guide when I sharpen as well, you know. Kind of haste makes waste situation, like just like building a jig for your router. It's always good to have a jig for your router. Don't try to route free-handed, you know, because it's going to come out fairly sloppy. Get it through. I want to break free. Sorry, there you go. If one is still here. I want to break free. That's what I'm about to do, break free. Sorry, Freddie Mercury. I didn't even pay royalties for that. Using the back edge to get, because I'm straight up against, kind of like using your bevel tool. I'm up against the edge here and I want it to be straight. So I use the back side. I felt a big piece just break out. So. I thought maybe I got away with it, Juanita. I'm glad you're still here. getting a little desperate. You see how hard I'm slamming that mallet? It's because I know I'm getting through, and this is when you want to do the most careful work because you can get blowout. Oh yeah. Well, my other mallet hurts way worse, but good question, Ian. Welcome to the show, Ian Grand Corbett's. Yes, I hit my hand with mallets, not my wooden ones yet, but definitely my resin mallet, which is heavier than these. Smashed my finger with that a couple times. That's kind of why you make them wide and large so that you're going to catch the back of the chisel and not your finger. Yep. I think I was a little pitchy on the first run, you know, and then I tried it again. I want to break free. There you go. That's just for you. I dedicate that to Juanita. I really do want to break free here. Yeah, we're getting there. I don't even know. I don't even know the verse. That's the only part of the song I know. Oh yeah, we're getting there. Heather always says I can sing now. One time she told me to stop singing, and so she feels forever guilty about it. So I just use it against her. She's like, you don't want me to sing. And like, you know, you told me that one time, and so you know, I learned don't sing around you. So got to do that. We're so close. It's painfully close. We're painfully close to finishing it. Well, this mortise. As you can see, I'm using the back side of the chisel right now. Pare away some of that stuff and kind of get it level. Almost there. Trying to do this without compressing the wood down into the middle and making it look ugly. I want a nice clean mortise for the tenon to be kind of snug in. I'm preliminarily through. Got this kind of a knotty chunk over here. My last little bit to get through. Yeah, no dowel. I'm gonna a pin. It's gonna be a wedge shaped pin. So let me. Yeah, I'm gonna know you want to need it since you stayed so long. For some reason, it doesn't want to let me zoom out. I can zoom in, but not out. Maybe because I'm actually close. So here's the post. The more the through beam is going to go through here, well, it'll be smaller than the width of the board. It'll be like this much will go through, like that. And then there will be a wedge through here, and that wedge will be hammered in because there's going to be a gap in this beam right here. That wedge will go through that, and the more you hammer it in, the tighter it will be. But you'll see too, because you're going to be here for the whole process, and then after this, you're going to be like, I'm going to build everything. Now I'm going to build all my own stuff. Oh, no. I wanted to show you that. This is what I'm here for. I want you to understand. I don't want you in the dark about what I'm doing. I am almost done, guys. And I don't want to make this too wide. See that? Oh, you didn't see that, unfortunately. Oh, you did see that. Okay, there you go. And you see through the mortise. Step one complete. Now just clean this hole, you know, make sure the edges are nice and smooth so that when a board goes in there that's smooth, you know, it's tight. It's a tight fit. I'm going to try to kind of go diagonally here because you don't want to keep bringing new grains up. You'll keep stripping the sides, but my sides are a bit rounded and not even from side to side on here. So I'm going to pare away some of that waste. I'm also going to secure this bed with fasteners. So besides the fact that it will have a through mortise, it will also have screws in it, but just not as much. Yeah, man, you have to when you do mortise and tenon, you have to chisel cross grain. There's no way around that. That's why you need a really sharp chisels. Dovetails too, man. When you do dovetail tail sides, that's all. That's all. Like a lot of that is against the grain on the tail end, so you're chiseling all of that out. That's pretty good, man. I'm gonna work on it tomorrow a little bit during the day, and tomorrow night we'll make the mortise side. So, yeah, we'll wrap it up for tonight. You guys know what I always say. I always say I'm very thankful and grateful. Today's a tough day to be that too because of all the different stuff that happened, but very thankful for being here, for an opportunity to be here and show you guys what I do. Drop my chisel. Probably gonna need some doctoring. Hopefully it doesn't knock other chisels out when I do this. But I am so thankful to have you all tonight. Juanita, friend of the show, paint front of the show. Shout out to Ian Grant Corbett for contributing. Uh, nah, pretty much it was just y'all carrying the show tonight. So I appreciate y'all. Have a great night. Finish that Christmas shopping, and I will see you all tomorrow here at Dad's Workshop, your mental massage.